idcwoodcraft.com.
I'll tell you what, every time Adam did such a good job putting that thing together, I just boogie out and you were boogieing out.
I was like doing my little dance over here. I love it.
In the mood. All right, folks, tonight we've got the guests that you always come back for to ask your Vectric questions. The Vectric master, Kyle Ely, will bring him on board in just a minute. We just want to give you a couple of updates first, but first I'm going to, we're going to talk about about the donations we got last week for the organization. Julianne will share that and what the organization is. And what else? We've got a special giveaway tonight. We're going to do a little early and a special discount for you tonight. So bring your Vectric questions on. We are going to keep this Vectric oriented, which those questions just compile it in. We can't do anything else anyway. Always put a question mark in front of your questions and this is the time to ask your Vectric design questions. I'm going to say a couple of quick hellos. Jack in the shop. He just released a short video on the new surfacing bit that we released. We sold out of those very quickly. So we've got more coming. They'll be back in stock. Well, I don't know. When are they going to come? We just got them reordered.
I was going to say, I reordered them probably, I want to say a day or two after, we had the sale, and reordered the bits, reordered the replacement inserts. We even had to reorder a couple more little replacement screws. So yeah, I'm just now getting back from our production company on how soon we can get those in. But yeah, I'm going to be sending the money fairly soon.
Yeah, I'm going to do a quick tease on another bit that we're going to be bringing out. It's going to be about 3 or 4 more weeks yet before they're available. These are really expensive, right? These are solid carbide bull bit, and a 3/4 inch with a 1/4 inch radius. Because of all the grinding and the size of the stock, they're pricey, but we've had them all tested already, and they're pretty badass bits. All right, so we got Ralph. What's going on, Ralph? And Carfy. I'm not sure what that one is. Donnie, what's going on, Donnie? Greg, STL Woodworking. Hey, Greg. Tom Sanders and Rob Vale. What's going on, Wayne? And what do we got? 326 people on board so far. David, RA Creative Woodworks. You got a whole bunch of you folks. Hey, thanks for coming in. This is the day to really learn what the important stuff is, that design basics. So, Julianne, what do you have to announce before we get Kyle on board?
So yeah, really quick. Last week, all of our lovely folks that donated, we ended up like $606.96, which we are matching to donate to the Folds of Honor Foundation. For those of you just joining in who have no idea what this is, for our Memorial Day sale, we actually are donating a portion of the proceeds from that. And obviously what we got in donations from last week, Wednesday, we are matching that. This is a foundation that actually provides scholarships for the family members, spouses of fallen and disabled, military members and first responders. So carrying on their legacy. And with our Memorial Day sale and all of your kind donations, we are donating $4,500 to this foundation.
Ooh, so how much altogether then?
Yeah, that is.
That's with everything, huh?
Yeah, that's everything all together. Yep.
$4,500.
Thank you all very much.
I love donating, and the things we donate to are so beautiful. So thank you, folks. Then we just have to figure out what our next donation thing will be, but we'll figure it out. The way, excuse me, the way people donate is there's down in your comments section of the live chat, there's a little dollar sign. You can donate through that. And all that money goes to donations. So we'll start a new pool and we'll figure out where it goes to. All right. Anything else you want to announce?
Just keep putting those question marks in front of your questions so I can get them starred well, because I'm going to be starring and I'm going to be reading tonight. So I'm going to have a full plate.
Yeah. Liberty's not here tonight, so Julianne's going to be pulling double duty. All right, we're going to bring the master on board, Kyle. Kyle, my man, thank you for joining us once again.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me back on.
Yeah. So first off, most people are going to be wanting to know, how's that baby doing?
He's doing better than ever. He's getting chubby, eating and sleeping a lot.
Yeah. I couldn't bribe Kyle enough to give him the name Garrett, so I just said, Uncle Garrett.
Yeah, you can't have an Uncle Garrett and be named Garrett too.
Yeah, that wouldn't work too well. All right, so we are going to be courtesy of Kyle. We're going to be doing a giveaway at 8:30 tonight. So in about 24 minutes, we're going to be doing a little giveaway, and then we're going to have a little. Kyle's going to offer a bonus behind that or a discount on his courses. So tell them about the giveaway, Kyle. Oh, first of all, why don't you explain who you are for those who don't know you?
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, I'm Kyle from Learn Your CNC. I've been playing with CNC machines since I was about 15, 16 years old and just hooked on it ever since. Before that, I was into woodworking and then gradually got into the CNCs. And now I just teach it full time. So I got really good with the Vectric software and just really love teaching other people and showing them how to make those projects that everybody's always trying to make, and just always trying to expand the reach of CNCs in the world.
Yeah, and what inspired you to dive into building a course or courses?
Well, I started helping one person at a time, and as you know, it's not very impactful. I mean, that one person gets that help, but then I see 100 other people have the same question. So yeah. I was just thinking, how can I impact more people? And that's when I got the idea, let's make a course, and did that quite a few years ago. And we've had over 6,000 students go through our courses, and everybody's really enjoying them. And we see amazing projects they make all the time. That's the best part about it.
Yeah, and you got a community. I tell you, folks, so I'm going to say this now, and I'll say this again. I always say this. When you get into CNC, a lot of us like to DIY it. We just got used to DIY, and we'll search YouTube day left and right, try to figure out how to do some design work. First of all your CNC work starts out with effective designing. And if you're not used to working with the design tool that you use, whether it be Vectric or something else, and you're trying to guess at it, you're always missing something. And Kyle sees it all the time. I see it all the time. People are asking questions, and you can talk to them in 2 sentences and tell that they are trying to do something far beyond their skill level. All right, CNC is a skill, and you have to work small and go up, but you've got to know the design software. It all starts right there. And Kyle's the only one with the Vectric training, and it's full blown. So tell them what courses you have.
Yeah, so we started out with the Vectric Master Training course. That's our main course that we do for teaching Vectric software. And then recently we expanded into AI. Since AI has been such a big thing in the past couple of years, we built a course teaching people how to use AI with their CNC machine. It's not specific to Vectric. It's any software you're using that you can import a 2D or 3D design into. You can use AI to help you generate projects much quicker. So it's amazing how things have expanded in the past years. And then we also have our community that we do live lessons every week.
Okay, so there you go. Live lessons are the best, and that's on Zoom, right? So people can ask questions.
Yeah, we do it over Zoom, and we do live Q&As and live project lessons every week in our community.
So you have 3 courses available now, right? The Vectric, VCarve.
Yep.
Do you have Cut 2D? You Cut 2D has a lot of the tools that VCarve has.
Yeah, Cut 2D is included with the VCarve course.
Okay, and then you have the next level up, which is Aspire, which is part of VCarve, but it has the 3D features in it.
Yeah, extra training for the 3D modeling. And then we have our community, and we have our AI course that's been recently released.
And so you said you're going to do a giveaway tonight. What are you giving away?
So yeah, we're going to be giving away our brand new AI for CNC Makers course. Ooh. And we're going to give that away to one lucky winner tonight.
All right. And then he's going to give you a discount on his courses tonight just for this live show. So this will be cool. And AI, I played with the AI stuff, made some projects, and it's just so much. Once you get to know how to prompt these design softwares or the sorry, the AI, excuse me, AI tools, it comes up with some really cool stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, pardon me for the scratchy throat tonight, folks. All right, well, Kyle, we are going to jump in. Julianne, just please remind us at 8:30 or 8:25 to tell them what they need to put in for the special code. All right.
All righty. Sounds good. Before we start, I'm just going to throw in Rafalinsky's donation, $20. Thank you for that. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, first donation into our community pool. Yeah, we don't know our donations. We had Kyle on. He announced about being about his wife being pregnant, and a bunch of people donated to that. Kyle,
Yeah.
pretty cool gift stuff from us. So from the community. All right, well, let's jump on board. You ready to start going into questions, Kyle?
Let's go for it.
Let's hit it, folks.
Let's dive in. All right. First one off the bat from Force View. Has anybody had issues with Aspire crashing as of late? Have had it crash, black screen, and shut down a couple of times over the last several days on 2 separate computers. Any ideas?
Oh, well. Yeah, so I use Aspire, the same version, just about every day. I haven't had that particular issue, but it could be maybe if it's the same file that's crashing, it could be the file issue. So maybe you just have too much data in that particular file and it's crashing, or it could be some kind of bug. I would reach out to Vectric about that. They are usually pretty good with support on that side.
Yeah, so they contact support at vectric.com.
Yep.
Very good. Okay. From Sardoba, I'm going to have a time with these screen names, you guys, so forgive me. I apologize. In Vectric 12.5, I set up a file to carve some leaves, 3D, and the toolpaths as well as G-Sender looked right, but the carve went off the board, carving air as if the design was duplicated side by side.
Yeah, that could be a variety of factors.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if you have something off of your job sheet and you set up a toolpath, it will still go to cut that if you had it selected. That's something to keep in mind. Make sure you zoom out. Make sure there's nothing out on the sides that were selected when you created your toolpaths. Also, make sure your 0 positions are set up correctly. Maybe the 0 was incorrect. Or maybe you generated a toolpath and then you changed something, but you already had the toolpath saved before you, after you made the changes. So sometimes you have to recalculate the toolpaths and make sure you resave the G-code files. That's a lot of times what I see people make a mistake on.
Yep. Here's one other thing to do just to help you out here. Once you get that design into your G-Sender, this button right here, this outline button, what that'll do is that'll that the machine will not go down to start carving. It will go around and profile the max outline of your project. And so you can hit that. And if it looks like it's going to run off the board, right, you'll be able to see that. Then you can say, okay, don't carve it. You're not going to waste your piece of project. And
that'll go up above the surface, right? Not touching.
Yeah, yeah. It'll just stay at like the safe height.
That's good.
So it's a great tool to use. Okay.
Question for Kyle from PC Tatsy66. A while back, you did a tutorial on how to set up a Stream Deck to use with Aspire that will hold pages of keyboard shortcuts. Can you remind me where that video is? I can't find it.
Yeah, it's on my YouTube channel, but also an easier place to find it if you go to our website and then click free resources at the top. There, it's right in that page. You'll scroll down, you'll see the Stream Deck, and we have free button downloads for that you can download, upload to your Stream Deck, and that will, if anybody doesn't know what a Stream Deck is, a little device you put on your desk, has a bunch of buttons on it that you can customize, and it's so you don't have to memorize all the shortcuts. You can put them all right there. You can click them, and they're really easy just to go ahead and click.
I still haven't gotten one of those things.
Got to add it to your list. It's there. I use it every day. So fun to customize them. And
all right. Well, you know what? Then I found your video, so I'm going to get the link for it. Oops. And share it. But Julianne, please make a note. I'll order that.
Make sure I would recommend getting the XL version, the extra large.
Okay.
Because the small one, just not enough buttons on there.
Okay. And I got the link for the video, so I'm going to drop it in the comments.
Perfect.
So it's a stream. Quit hitting that.
Yeah.
Button.
The company that makes the Stream Deck is called Elgato. They make a lot of cool devices. There's even one is like a foot pedal. You can set up a keyboard shortcut for your foot. So
really?
You don't have to even click anything.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing. All kinds of things you can do. They have a new one. It's like a lever you can pull. Or a shortcut key. In case you want to get a little fun on it.
That's fun.
I guess for accessibility, that works.
For folks, when you donate, we will call you out in groups. So just bear with us. But we see you're getting donations coming in already.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Handle the next question. I got to get something over here. I'll be right back.
All good. All right. From Prescott, I have Aspire 9.5, and when I preview my project, I can't slow down or speed up. The button stopped working. Any suggestions?
Ooh, that sounds like a technical issue with the software. I mean, it's an older software, but it should still work. That's probably another one of those things you might want to reach out to Vectric about, because that's more on the software side of things. So without just closing down the files and trying it again, if that doesn't work, or restarting your computer, you may even uninstall and reinstall it if you still have the download link for it. But worst case, reach out to Vectric about that. I don't know if they'll still support the older version though, so that's something to keep in mind.
Very good point. All right. From Jeffrey Stewart, I have an unexplained issue with my bowl bit. It carves out the initial depth correctly inside the line. Then on the light finish pass, it carves outside the line, even though I set it to carve inside.
Yes. This is a very common thing with the bowl bit, especially with the pocket toolpath. I've had the same things happen to me. I've reached out to Vectric about that. I'm not sure why it does that, to be honest. It's just kind of a little fluke with the software. Some things I do to kind of get around that is do a little offset inwards with the toolpath. There's an offset option in there. You can put a negative offset. That will bring it in closer to the line. Or you can set up a separate vector as well for that to make sure it carves inside.
How far out does it seem to be carving on that last pass?
Sometimes it goes like the radius of the bit, so it's quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I've had the same issues with exactly what he's working with there.
Okay, so that's a glitch with the software. So
yeah, as far as I know.
Told Vectric, then Vectric knows about it. They're working on it.
Yeah.
That's a big one too. So that's going to be at the high end of their list.
Yeah.
All right. From Jack and the fellows at Minshed, they have VCarve Pro. Setting a toolpath for text via the VCarve option with a 60-degree quarter-inch bit, it generates a large number of passes cutting at 0.1 millimeters deep each pass. Why so many?
Yeah, that would be in your tool database setting. If you go to tool database and then look for pass depth, that is your depth per pass setting. So you would have... Yeah, we can take a look at that. Let me share my screen.
It's pretty easy fix.
Yeah.
Really easy fix.
Bear with me here. I'll share my screen. Okay, so when you're in Vectric software, it could be any platform of Vectric. It doesn't have to be Aspire. It could be VCarve or Cut2D. You're going to want to go to whatever toolpath you're using, if it's the VCarve toolpath. Then when you select a tool, you can either click select, that'll change it in your tool database settings, or if you just want to edit this particular toolpath, you'd click edit, and that will allow you to change the settings for that tool. And that will pop up your tool database. But the setting you're looking for here is called pass depth. You can see this number here. So once you update this number and then recalculate the toolpath, that will go in either bigger or smaller depth per pass, whatever you set there. That's the number you want to look for.
Okay.
Alrighty, very, very good. Here we go on to Deborah. What setting to use the V-bit to make union stars? I'm confused on the VCarve settings.
Yeah, if you're making union stars, I like, it depends on how big it is. If it's really small, you might want to use a smaller V-bit, but if it's a kind of a regular size flag, I like to use 90-degree V-bit. 60-degree V-bit also works well. But for that, it's actually pretty simple. You'd put 0 start depth and 0 flat depth, and they generally turn out really well. It'll cut
Yeah.
the full depth if you want it that kind of look. But if you want a flat bottom look, then you would add a flat depth, whatever depth you want it to cut.
Yeah, one of the things to keep in mind on that is the bigger the star, the sharper or less sharp angle V-bit you want. So
Yep.
if you're getting into maybe 1-inch diameter stars or larger, you definitely want to go from a 90 to 120 V-bit. IDC Woodcraft carries those, and if you're going to do really big ones, you want to go to the 150-degree V-bit.
And one other thing I would add to that is on our free resource page on our website, we do have a V-bit carving chart to let you learn how V carving works. It's a nice, easy, printable graph that you can use to learn the V carving.
Yeah, and that's good to know, because just a point in case, when you start making V-carves, they start getting really deep. They start to lose their, they start to look bad.
Yeah, that's when you want to start using flat depths.
Yeah, flat depths
or different bits.
Or a different bit. And speaking of websites, so Kyle also put together another website for those who are looking for CNC machines to compare, because when we're shopping around, we're always not sure. We got to go to videos, and most videos, you know, hey, my machine's the best. So talk about that website, Kyle.
Yeah, so that's one of the biggest things. People always ask me, what machine should I buy? And that's so hard to answer because there's so many factors into there. Your budget, what size requirements you need, what type of things you're trying to do, and also what power requirements you have, and all kinds of things. So for me, it was just so hard to answer that question for everyone. So what we ended up doing was building a website that allows you to compare side by side all different brands all together. And that makes it really easy, because if you're shopping for a CNC, you have to go to each individual website. If you even know what website you're looking for, half the time you don't know those websites. But once you find them, you have to open a bunch of tabs up, and it's really hard to compare them because every website names them differently for different components of the machine. So we made everything with the same name, very easy to compare them side by side. And the website we made completely free to use, just as a resource for people to shop for those machines.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys that website real quick. So Kyle put this together. This is a pretty intensive website, by the way.
Yeah, and we're still growing it. So,
so he's got this selector here. What's the main task you want, right? That's a really good place to start. What do you want to do with this thing? You signs and hobby projects, miscellaneous 3D carving, etc. And so you can go into your hobby and DIY projects, click that, and looks like you can click multiple ones.
Yeah, you can select one there.
Click next. I'm a complete beginner. I like that. And so I'm just going to click buttons and see where it goes. And let's see. We'll do.
You could also do not sure at the bottom there if you're not sure what.
Not sure. Okay. And then
that's just where you heard about us.
Okay, so you heard about it right there, and
you can click. You can sign up, or you can click skip to results.
Okay, and you should sign up, folks. And so there are all the CNCs that fit that criteria. And so he's got the Alt Mill, he's got the Shipoko, you got the what is this one?
Winfinity.
Winfinity. Okay, and yep. All right, then you got the.
And then if you click those compare buttons right there, you can compare them side by side.
Okay, yeah.
And that's what the account for at the beginning that asks you to sign up for account. That's so you can save these as your favorites. There's no cost. It's just to sign up to be able to save things as your favorites. That way you can log back in. And because when you're shopping for these, you're not likely to make the decision right away. You might be looking at a few and you have to come back to them. That way you can save things to your account.
Yeah, so this is nice. This is the only tool out here like this.
Yeah, like I said, you can't really compare machines side by side on a single website. So that's why one of our students actually gave us that idea because they wish they had that. So I was like, okay, we'll make something for that. And We spent a few years making that, but it's out there now.
Okay. All right. Folks, gonna let you know that we are going to stop the questions at 9 o'clock at the top of the hour. We already have 50 questions in the queue right now. And so it's going to be kind of hard to get to them all, but we've got a giveaway we got to start working on here. And then we're going to announce this special discount for the rest of you folks. So Kyle, why don't you tell them what you're giving away? First of all, Julianne, tell them what code they need to put in. That way they can start putting it in.
I have to? I mean,
You can wait.
I got it. I was going to say, you guys, really, really quickly, if you're new here, welcome. This giveaway is happening a little sooner than we usually do it in the night. I'm about to show my screen. There will be a code on it that you enter exactly as you see it. And you will enter it into the YouTube chat now. There we go. There's that. It will also be scrolling on the bottom of your screen. You only have to enter it once, and entering it multiple times will not help you. And no, before you ask, we are not giving away Garrett's alt mill yet.
No, not that. But it's got me thinking maybe we'll buy one and give that one away. Who knows?
All right, Kyle, floor is yours.
Yeah, so this is for our AI for CNC Makers course. I also encourage, if anybody's already in the course, don't enter, so that way somebody that doesn't have it can get in there. And yeah, this is for all about learning how to use AI to help you with designing, coming up with ideas, creating 2D vectors, 3D models, helping you get more productive with your CNC, and also even helping you market your products. So that's everything we teach in the course. We have copy and paste prompts, a bunch of guides, and easy to use resources for AI. And also, I want to say, if you guys are entering, or even if you're not entering, definitely give a thumbs up to the chat as well down below.
Yeah.
I think doesn't help with the enter, but I think we should give Garrett a thumbs up here on this live for bringing us all together here.
Yeah. It's, we got a great community as a whole, and on this end with the businesses, IDC, with Learn Your CNC, and Andy Bird and all these other guys. We've got a great tight-knit group of people that we're all here to help you guys. So yeah, would love the thumbs up on the video. All right, so we are going to do that drawing in about 2 minutes. In the meantime, let's handle another question.
All righty. So, Roland Johnson, is there a way to increase the size of the numbers in the value boxes, like job setup page, for instance? Mine have gotten so small that you can't see the decimal point.
Yeah, that is interesting. I can take a look at that on the screen. Let me go over to the job setup, for example. The only way I would say to do that would be to stretch the width here, but I'm not sure if the boxes will get bigger. But let's see. If we stretch the width, yeah, the boxes stay the same. So you must have a really large, long number in there, I'm guessing. Or maybe your display settings on your computer are set in a strange way. So you might have to look into your display settings. But if something's not displaying there and you tried a few things, that might be one of those things you got to reach out to Vectric about as well. Yeah, anything with the user interface or something not working as it should be, a lot of times that's where Vectric support is the best for. They're the ones that built it, of course.
Yeah. So what I do on my computers, because I got my eyesight's a little challenged, I'll go into the computer settings and type in display settings and change my display settings to like 125 or something like that.
Yeah, you can zoom in. Also, there's some, if you go to like accessibility, there's a magnifying glass tool that you can help zoom in. So there's all kinds of things you could do for that.
Okay. All right, folks, make sure you get this in, because we're not going to be waiting very long on this, because we're right in the middle of the show. So, so this is Kyle's AI course, a giveaway.
Really quickly, a question on the AI course. It's separate from the regular course, right?
Correct. Yeah, there's the Vectric course and there's AI. So the AI works with any CNC software. So that's why we made those separate.
Awesome, awesome. Okay.
There you go. So you bought your course and it's been phenomenal.
Nice.
Excuse me. What is the best advice for someone trying to take a hobby to a small business? And what's the best way to use Vectric to help accelerate the process? That's a good question, and a lot of people want to get into business to do this stuff. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to get makers who've actually had experience doing that, like Duffy, Kate, Andy Bird, and a couple others, and we're going to do a session so you really get a well-rounded guidance on that. Starting a business, but I will tell you the best way to start is start posting your stuff on Facebook on your personal page. Let people know. Just get your name out there. Let people know that's what you do. All right.
Yeah. One thing I used to do is I used to make thousands of signs for a single customer as like a wholesale. And I just found him through letting people know what I do. And then somebody recommended me. It's that network effect. Once people see what you do, then somebody knows somebody else, and then it just chain links all together. And then one day you'll get a really amazing project that can turn into a whole bunch of projects that you do after that. So you never know where those connections are going to go. So stay well connected.
Yep, that's the way to do it. Okay, Julianne, the floor is yours. And
All right, good.
Right after we do the winner, let's announce the donations that have come in too.
Oh, yeah. We can do that too. All right. So you guys, thank you for entering. Yet again, this is a live show. So if you've hit the marker, let's hope you're actually up to date on the live button. We're doing it now. So if you enter after, I'm so sorry. We have 282 people entered. I will hit this draw button, and let's not get excited until we see the confetti. All right, here we go.
All right. Da, da, da. There we go. There's a flying by. Oh, that for a minute, didn't it?
All right.
There we are. Ron Wagner.
Congrats, Ron.
All
okay.
right.
Something we didn't discuss. Kyle, are they contacting you or us?
Either or. It's fine with me.
Okay. All right.
Let's just do the normal channel.
We'll do it the way we always do it. Ron, just head on over to idcwoodcraft.com, hit that contact us page or button. To be perfectly honest, I don't know which it is, but and then I will need your email and contact information. And if you're trying to impersonate Ron, please don't, because I will find you and figure it out.
You cannot get anything past Julianne. If she has one inkling of doubt, she will drill until she's absolutely certain.
I'm glad the channel's going through her first.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
All right.
Congratulations, Ron.
Yep.
Congrats.
And
right, so we're going to do talk about the donations, and we're going to tell you what the discount that you can take advantage of tonight.
Let me scroll down to these lovely folks. All right. And we've got Lilinsky. I have no idea. It's lovely. $20 and a super sticker. Thank you so much. We've got George with another $20.
So cool.
Thank you. Pascal saying, let's keep the spirit going with $50 lovely donated.
Yeah,
and Mighty Wickard, proud of IDC and their commitment to support first responders. Of course. Another $20 towards that. We're more than happy to do so.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. And I think that's the only one. I'm having to work double time here. There we go. Yep.
Okay.
All right. So far, so good. Okay.
All right. So, folks, Kyle's is offering a discount on his courses tonight for the show only. So this, Kyle, tell him what you're doing, and then tell you what the time limit is.
Yeah, so we threw a special discount for you guys for tonight, 15% off our Vectric Master Training course and our new AI course. It's a special for Garrett's audience here, and ends at midnight tonight. So if you guys want to sign up for that, you can use the code IDC15 at checkout. You get 15% off.
All right.
Is that midnight Eastern time or?
Oh, yes, Eastern time.
Okay.
Yep. That's a good thing to put out there.
Jump on it, you guys.
Julianne will throw a link in, so you know what to do. We'll put that in periodically. And everybody say hello to Cody. He's on board. Cody from Cadence Manufacturing with Jenny Bitmaker.
Hi, Cody.
Hello. Throwing in
All
the
right,
link.
let's rock and roll. Pop back to these questions. We've got a lot of them sitting out there.
All right, let's rapid fire. From Mr. Rich Trader, when doing a profile cutout for a picture frame project, how can I scallop the outer edges full depth, the entire profile, 8x10 in this case, using Vectric 12.5?
Yeah, if you're referring to a scallop as just a kind of chamfer, you can do that with a V-bit and a profile toolpath pretty simply. If you're referring to a different type of scallop, where it's kind of like I don't know how you call that, kind of I guess like a scallop is what it's called.
Yeah, maybe he wants to do one of these things.
Yeah, that can be done with the fluting toolpath and a bunch of little lines. That's a little bit more complex, but I mean, if you want to, I can show it. It'll take maybe a couple minutes, but up to you. I'll challenge myself here and just do a simple rectangle. And
folks, watch this. This is really cool.
Let's do a profile cutout on this, the profile toolpath. I'll try to keep things simple here. I'm going to cut all the way through the material, and I'll just use an end mill on the outside. So this is just a regular cutout here for now. I'm not worried about all the settings here. I was just for demo purposes. So this is just if you want to cut a nice simple shape. Now, if you want to add a little decoration to the edges, there's a lot of things you can do. You can use a V-bit. You can use a pointed roundover. You can use a custom form bit to go around that edge. So I'll just show you that really quickly. For that, you don't really need to do anything extra. You just select the same vector, do another profile toolpath, but this time I would change the tool. So I would just click select here to change to a different tool. And in this case, I would do something like a V-bit. Let's just do a 90-degree V-bit to keep it simple. And for this, I would just change the cut depth, something a little bit smaller. Let's just do 0.1. And the other thing that's important is where you want to cut this. In this case, I want to cut it directly on the line. That'll center the V-bit right on that line. Now, we're going to click calculate. And that's going to give us a nice little chamfered edge all the way around this. So if we take a look at this and preview it, there we go. We have that nice little chamfer around the edge. Now that's if you just want that chamfered edge going all the way around. It's all the same all the way around. I could double click on the waist to remove that just to show you what that looks like. And you could swap that V-bit out to be a pointed roundover. It could be a cove bit. It could be a form bit. It could be a lot of things there. Now, he mentioned scallop. That's where it made me think of something else. I'll show you that really quickly. If I reset, let's go back to our original profile. I'll cut that out. And let's just say we wanted to do the same thing, except more of a scallop design. For that, I would add a bunch of lines, and then we would use what's called the fluting toolpath. I would just set up one side just to show you. We'll use the draw line tool. And I would do a little bit of math on here, figure out the height of this and divide it by however many scallops you want. But just to keep things simple, I'm just going to draw a random length line. And I'll just show you this with a line here. And it'd probably be a good idea to move this to a new layer because they're going to be right on top of each other. Yeah. So it's going to be hard to see them. And I would make this layer a different color so you can see it. So now we have this vector here. It's a single line. I'm going to hold. You could do a couple things here. You can use a ray copy tool, or I'm just going to hold control and drag it, put it up here. That would make a copy of it. That's a shortcut to copy things. You just hold control and drag them up. So that's another thing you can do as well. So basically, if I hide our layer with the rectangle on it, let me get that up here. Oh, for some reason, it's not cooperating tonight. I don't know why that's not doing that. Let's see.
Because the stream could be.
Yeah, it might be because of the stream. So what I'll do is just leave it there. I'm going to use the array copy tool instead. I'll just do, let's say I could fit 4 there. And I'm going to do a gap of 0 so they touch each other. And you could put a gap in between them to give it a different look. But let's just do that. And this is just an example, but you would do that all the way around. I'm just going to do it one side. And basically there's 4 lines there that have selected. Now I'm going to go to a toolpath called the fluting toolpath. And that one is going to be right here, called the fluting toolpath. This is available in VCarve or Aspire. And what this toolpath will allow you to do is do a little swooping motion, which will give you that scallop look. So I'm going to do this option here where it says ramp at the start and the end. And I'll do a smooth ramp to give you that look that we're going for a scallop. And then you just have to set your depth. We could set it the same, 0.1 here. And then the tool, you can use a V-bit or you can use a ball nose or whatever you wanted to use here. I'll use the same tool, the 90-degree V-bit, just to show you what that looks like. And click select. I'm actually going to make it a little bit deeper because I think it'll look better going a little deeper. So that's what we'll do there. And let's just click calculate. There's a lot of settings you can play around with here, but let's just see what this looks like.
Yeah.
Click calculate, and here is that effect that we're going for here. So now you can see when I click preview, it's going to give you that scalloped edge there. That's kind of what I think he was going for there. And like I said, you would just repeat that on all the sides.
I love the fluting toolpath. Folks, this is a level of education and knowledge you get in if you get into Kyle's course.
Yep, and we just sped through that just for this demo, but yeah, we definitely take this more of a step-by-step approach and show you how and why you do all these things.
I love the fluting toolpath.
Yeah, it's very fun. Not a lot of people use it either.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's, well, I think we've got to do another drawing here, I think. Julianne. Greg did it again. Go ahead.
I mean, I gotta like, let's for those of you that want to see the person that makes my life difficult during these live streams with these giveaways, it's this guy, Craig from STL Woodworking. He donated it $200, and you know, he's a first responder, and he thinks we need to draw an additional AI winner.
Yeah.
Thank you, Greg.
Yep. Greg's a regular guest here as well. So
too kind.
Yep.
So
he's exceptional with the epoxy and inlays.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get him on.
And his wallet.
Every single time.
And giving away more stuff and throwing us out of whack. Yeah, he's got some backup supporters too. Read the rest of the comments before we roll on.
I know. I was seeing that. Billy's over here like, yeah, he thinks we need another drawing. So I guess you guys that we're going to be, we'll cover another AI course.
No phone. Keep up amazing work while you're doing, sharing your knowledge and helping people in need. We love doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, let's do another quick drawing so we can get back to the Vectric questions. Thank you, Greg.
All right. I was going to say, if David's like, draw. Yeah. All right, you guys. If you've already entered previously, you do not have to enter this again. If you are just popping in, I'm going to throw in the code to enter very quickly at the bottom of the screen. So yet again, if you entered it already, you do not have to enter it again. If you're just popping in, I know we had a couple of people join after. That little code at the bottom of your screen is what you need to enter in the next like 1 to 2 minutes as I pull this giveaway back up. And then thank you to all of our retired first responders and volunteers that I see in the chat. You guys are amazing. So thank you.
I did volunteer firefighter and EMT for 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I say my brother's a first responder. So
our neighbor's backyard caught on fire the other day, and we were happy to see it was put out very quickly by the firefighters.
Goodness. Ooh-wee. Okay, you're gonna see Ron's name again, you guys. I know we got a couple Hey AIs still popping in, so I'm gonna use the same giveaway. We're just gonna draw a second winner with it. There we go. Boop. Okay, get those Hey AIs in there very, very quickly because at 8:46 p.m. Eastern time, I am hitting this draw button.
Lots of questions. So you got 10 seconds to get the hey AIs in.
Yep.
5, oh, wait,
Throw it
8,
in.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. We actually
All
still
right.
have a lot of entries, so let's hit it.
Okay, you guys, here we go. I have so many.
While we're
screens
waiting
up.
for the winner, hit the thumbs up button.
There you go.
All right, 3 and 8. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Rolling.
There we go. And it's going to be
Kathleen.
Hey, woo, Kathleen, you just won Kyle's AI course.
Congrats.
You're going to like it. Okay. So, Julianne, tell her how to get this, how to communicate.
Yep. So very, very quickly, Miss Lovely Kathleen, you are going to pop over to idcwoodcraft.com, hit that contact us page, and I need your email and your contact info, please. And thank you, Ron, for getting that to me so soon. I saw the email pop up. Very, very appreciating that. So yeah, that's yep. Good.
Congrats.
Congrats. Okay. All right. We got
And
lots
thank
more
you to
questions.
Greg and everybody who egged him on, saying we needed another giveaway.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So remember, Kyle's doing 15% across the board off of each one of his courses. Julianne will throw the link in there. There is your discount code to use when you check out on his page. Let's hit some more questions.
All right, hold on. I gotta throw the link in first.
Okay.
Here we go. I'm doing so many things.
Okay. All right. So.
Oh wait, you're all the way back at the top.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, you are. Here we go. Hold on. I got it now. I'm good.
That's why Julianne does it.
All good. Question. I'm using a bit to create channels for LED strips. How can I change the order in which vectors cut the toolpath? The bit makes round bit marks where it goes into and out of the design. Araceli.
Yes. It depends on the toolpath you're using, but if you're using the profile toolpath, I can quickly show you where to find that. Let's go back to the profile toolpath. That's a very common one. You may want to use something like that. Make sure at the top you check this box that says show advanced toolpath options. That'll give you a lot more options to work with. And then down at the bottom where it says order, you can specify the order down here. There's a couple options here. But if you want it to go in a specific order, you would turn all these off and select vector selection order. And then you would have to manually select the order that you'd want them. So you'd hold shift and manually select this one first, this one second, this one third, this one fourth, and you would select them all and then calculate the toolpath, and it would do it exactly the same order that you selected them. There's a couple toolpaths that have that option.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I do the vector selection order all the time. And let's see. Yep. Brim's just purchased your master course. Excellent.
Oh, nice.
Choice. Good job.
Thanks for joining.
Yep. Good job. Folks, for those of you who are in the course, put a comment in there what you think about it, so that the other folks who are debating, they have a little testimony there. And if you just want to be sure, you can go to the website, and he's got a little boot camp training for free. You can check out, see how Kyle's trains. All right, let's roll on. Unfortunately, the Hey AI does not work anymore. We're done doing the giveaways. Now it's the 10% off or 15% off. Okay, roll on.
All righty.
We're trying to cram through this.
Yeah. After I've run the first layer and I stop to let the epoxy dry, how do I restart?
If you're talking about running a first toolpath and then you pour some epoxy, let it dry, and you want to start the next toolpath after that, if you don't turn your machine off, that will keep your zero positions and everything. If you turn the machine off, then you might have to re-zero it, which can be tricky to get it to zero in the same location. So that's something to be careful of. But let's just assume you left your machine on. You would just load up the next toolpath, whichever that may be. And if you're using the same tool in the same zero position, you don't have to do anything. You just run that second toolpath. That's the best case scenario. But like I said, if you shut down the machine, you might have to go through the process of re-zeroing. Or if you had to change your tool, you might have to re-zero the Z-axis if you kept your XY. So a couple things to be aware of. But like Garrett said, if you're machine has the option before to run the toolpath above the surface or just to outline it, that is a safe option just to make sure it's going to cut in the same spot.
Yeah. This one thing is, so we did a video live with Brimwood, right? About a month ago, where he does these really ornate type of inlay projects. And actually Greg, we did it with Greg too. All right. They talk about that. It's about that specific thing. So if we can find one of the videos from Greg, one of the live shows, he handled it in the last one, but we'll bring him back on board here in a couple of weeks. Maybe we'll just bring him next week, just throw off his schedule for next week. Screwing up our thing. I would have found the video, but now Google's making me do a verify, so I'm not gonna go through that. All right.
Yep. All right.
Folks, we're not going to be able to take any more questions. We have 46 questions in the queue. We're not going to be able to handle them all as they are.
Tons.
Join our community. We got lots of time for questions there.
Okay. From JMCBC. In Vectric, is there a way to select where the CNC starts a cut, or is that just a machine thing?
Where it starts a cut. That's going to be the next option here. Down here where we just looked at, there's the next one called Start At. And here you can customize where you want it to start. So you can keep the current start points for the nodes that it has set for the start point. You can have it optimized, which is going to basically do the shortest path. Or you can select somewhere on this bounding box where you want it to start. So those are some options you have to start where the toolpath will start.
Okay. From Tom. I have 6 toolpaths using the same bit. How do I join all of them together so I don't have to run them one at a time?
You would just save them all together. There's a couple options, but the easiest thing is when you save the toolpath and you go to the Save Toolpath option, you would just check mark all the toolpaths that you want to save. And then at the top, make sure you do visible toolpaths to one file. And that will automatically save them all together, and they'll run them back to back right by themselves. You don't have to do anything else extra for that.
All right. From Mark, how long does it typically take to be a CNC Aspire SME? I have enrolled in Kyle's training program. First of all, the question is, what's an SME?
I think that means subject matter expert, if I'm not mistaken. Basically, being an expert at the software, I think he's asking.
Yeah.
And it all depends on how, there's several factors, of course. How good of a learner are you? Do you practice it? And how quick of a learner? So everybody's going to be a little bit different, as always. But I would say in less than 3 months, you can get really good at the software. So over a summer, you just make several projects and you will get really good at it. The biggest thing I see people do is they'll learn a bunch, then they'll take 3 months off, then they'll come back and forget everything they learned and then have to start all over again from scratch. So I always recommend people just to, even if you're not making something at the time, just go in the software, design something real quick, just so you get a familiarity where all the buttons are, what they do. And every time you make a project, you're going to build on the skills you learned in the last project. So always practice.
Yeah, and I'll share a little extra tip on that. Is number one is practice, like Kyle said, but you can still teach once you get some good basics down. You know, as long as you're ahead of somebody else. But as my mentor always taught me, and I've proven myself, the best way to learn is by teaching. And I would run into situations where I couldn't answer a question. So I would go, I'll come back to you, and I'd go find a master like Kyle. And I'd say, Kyle, here's the problem I'm having. How do I do this? I'd practice a few times, go back to that person and teach it. But I leveled up because I was held accountable by someone who paid me.
Yeah. That's something you can do. Even if you don't have someone to teach your wife, teach your dog, teach somebody just to get it in your mind there.
All right, that's fun.
All right. Lisa says, when using Easy Create, I tend to get a raised edge around most carves. How do I avoid this?
Yeah, that's something to play around with in the Easy Create software, there is what's called a height curve. I don't have Easy Create open right now, but if I bring it up, I can show you. But basically, there's some height curve options you have to be able to adjust that.
Okay,
Also, it depends on the reference image.
yeah,
and
we're
things
not
like that.
seeing that screen. We got your vector screen.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up right now. Let me
Okay.
see. I'm bringing up Easy Create here.
Okay.
So anybody who doesn't know, this is Easy Create, basically AI tool from Vectric. You can prompt it or upload an image to create a 3D model. So this is a little example I have on here. Sometimes it'll give you a nice flat edge. Sometimes it'll, like they're saying there, have a little lip or it's a little warped. You can see this one even has a little bit of a warping to it. So that's where all these options are down here at the bottom. There is edit height curve, scale along X and Y axis, and these allow you to do a lot of adjustments to your design. They take a little bit of getting used to figure out how these work, but you can add different points in here and control the height of different parts of the 3D model. That's one aspect of this. But another thing that you may be looking for is the scale heights along the X and Y axis. So this will allow you to, even if it's right on the edge, you can add a node in here, and you can see I can bring that up right there in the middle or bring it down. And that's going to change how this design looks based on what we're trying to get out of the design. So if there's a little kink in the design or something, you can add little node points here, drag them up and down to play around with those heights to flatten it out a little bit better. So it does take some practice getting used to.
Yeah, it does.
In our AI course, we cover this a lot greater depth to show you how you can use that to straighten out your designs.
There you go. There's another reason to get into Kyle's AI course. Remember, he's doing discount on all his courses till midnight Eastern Standard Time, 15%. That's your discount code right there, IDC 15.
All righty. Very, very good. Okay, moving on. We've got Fred saying, how can I program the toolpath to exit the project and move the Z up and away from the project?
Yes, that's going to be in your toolpath settings up at the very top where it says material setup. You're going to click the set button there, and that's going to pop up this material setup panel here. And these are the options.
This is a good one, folks. Pay attention to this, because this is, I see almost nobody do this, but this is where your tool will get completely out of the way of your project when it's done.
Yeah, for sure. That will be down here at the bottom. So where it says Z gap above material, this is where it'll start and stop when it's done. If you want it to raise up higher or lower, you can play around with that measurement there. Also, if you want it to move to a certain position on your machine, you could set that here as well in the X and Y. I typically only set the Z here. Another thing you could do is a little bit more advanced, but you can actually edit the G-code file where it says the at the very end of the file where the stop position is. You can just edit the numbers there to go to a specific point. I would only do that, though, if you're really comfortable with that. That can really mess things up, so just be careful of that. You can even edit your post-processor if you want it to always end up in that location. So that's another thing you can think about. That's a lot more advanced, though.
Yep. Right, so bring those numbers back, zoom back into that spot.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want this to the back left and you want to go back 2 inches in the X and Y and to the left 2 inches in the X, then you type in a -2 in each one of those. Wait, for the Y, no, it'd be a +2.
Well, keep in mind, too, it also goes off of where you set your XY datum. So it's referencing from this corner point where you zero from. There's also an offset feature here, but that's more if your material is offset from the 0 position. So I would be careful with that, too. But there is a lot of options here you can play around with.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool.
All right. From Mike, can you give tips on sided carving, please? And thank you.
I'm assuming it means double-sided carving.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Because I'm not sure what sided carving is, but
what came to mind was turning up on edge. But that's
that could be it too.
Ball game.
Yeah, that you would need a vertical mounting. There's some tables that will do that if you're doing that. And it's double-sided. The main thing I say is use the dowel flip method, where you drill holes in your material and you drill holes that correspond to that in your spoil board, so it will line up when you flip it over.
Yeah. Kyle
That's the
put out
main
a video on that about 2 months ago, I think.
Me? Or
I think you did. I know Vectric has one out too.
yeah, Vectric has one on their channel I saw, and also I do have videos on our in our community as well for double-sided. We do a lot of double-sided projects in there.
Okay, cool. There you go.
Awesome.
I had somebody message me. Sorry, guys, I'm eating dinner while we're talking. Somebody messaged me through WhatsApp, and he was trying to do like a 3D carve that he did in Easy Create, but his skill level wasn't up there, right? So he's trying to work it out. Eventually, he got it figured out. But the point is this us trying to figure things out before we're ahead, and we're not learning from the master. We work so much harder trying to figure it out ourselves instead of having a structure path to get there. So all these questions that people are asking, all this stuff is in Kyle's course. You can see how deep his knowledge goes. So if you're serious about the CNC, get serious about learning the software. That's investment in your knowledge.
Yeah. Another thing I say is don't dive right into a double-sided 3D model carving as your first project. Start with just cut your name out or something. Do something simple. Make a coaster. Make something simple. Even if you're not going to use it, just try it out with some scrap materials, and then gradually work your way up to those more advanced projects.
Yeah.
Okay. From Steven. If I copy an object into a large array matrix, can I later change the dimension of those objects wholesale, or do I need to change the dimensions of each object individually?
Yes. So there's two ways around that, or two things that come in mind there. There are two separate array copies. One is array copying the vector, and one is array copying the toolpath. So I'll just show you a real quick example. If we have this shape down here in the corner, and let's say I want to cut out a bunch of those shapes, we can go to the array copy tool in our design tab. It's down here at the bottom where it says offset and layout. It is the second one there. That's available in all versions of Vectric software. You're going to click on that, and then you just specify how many rows, how many columns you want. Let's do 4 and 4, and we'll put a small gap in between them. Let's just do 0.3, just a little bit bigger than our tool, and click copy. And as you can see, that made a bunch of shapes that we can now cut out. And you could do that with all different types of shapes, even 3D models. Now, if you go back to our profile toolpath that we made before, I can now select all of these shapes and then click calculate, and it's now going to cut all of those out for me. Now, this works really well if you're trying to make things in bulk. The problem happens here when, let's say you're making this for a customer and they said, okay, now I need this to be a different size. And if it's just this one shape, it's not too big of a deal. You would just have to delete all of the ones you copied, resize the original, and then recopy them all. That's not too bad if it's just a single shape like this. But if you have a lot of stuff going on, that gets really complex. So the other way around this, where you can easily update things, is to array copy the toolpath instead of the vectors. So I'll show you how to do that real quick. I'm going to delete all those copies we just made. And now I'm only going to keep the original. And I'm going to go back to our toolpath. And I'm only going to create a toolpath for that original. And I'm going to calculate that. And what else I can do there? Let's add the second toolpath. Let me reset our preview. That's one that we made earlier for the chamfer around the edge. I'm going to right click and recalculate that. That should recalculate for the smaller shape. So now it's that smaller toolpath. So if we preview this, this is now cutting just this one with the chamfer on the edge. And now we have that created. So now that we have a single toolpath created, it could be one, it could be multiple. We can select those. And there is an option in your toolpath settings where it says array copy toolpath. So that's only going to copy the toolpaths, not the vectors. So if I click on that, you choose the toolpaths that you want to copy. You would set up the same settings here. We'll do 4 columns, 4 rows. We'll do a gap in between, 0.3, just like we did last time. And everything's going to be the same here, except now we're calculating for the toolpath instead of the vectors. So now, as you can see, it just copied all of that, just like it did before. But if we go to the 2D view and turn off our toolpath, it's just that single vector that is referencing from, nothing else. So now when we preview this, it's going to cut all of those shapes out, just like we wanted. But now you can see I have a little spacing adjustment I got to do there. That's okay. We can adjust that. But let's say the customer wanted this smaller. All we need to do is adjust the size. Now I can adjust the size of this. Just right click on the toolpath for the ray copy and click recalculate. And watch that. Just like magic, it just changed everything altogether. And now if I go back to the preview, reset it and preview it, that's going to change everything all at once. So you don't have to go back and edit all of them individually.
That's cool.
That would be the way I would do that.
That's really cool. I'd definitely do it that way. Somebody asked about your courses at Lifetime.
Yes, all of our courses, with exception to the community, are lifetime access. One-time payment, lifetime access. And you get free updates when we update the course.
And community is a monthly membership, right?
Yeah, community is a monthly or annual membership because that one's live and interactive. So that's why we do that.
Okay.
Awesome. Hey, Dale wants to know, how do you fix intersections?
That is a very loaded question because there's so many different types of intersections. But basically, it's going to come down to node editing or trimming shapes or creating new shapes. That's really hard to answer without seeing the example that you're going for. I do have a video on my YouTube channel, how to fix open vectors, that might help you. Because we also talk about intersections in that one as well. But that typically comes down to node editing, but there's a lot of things you can do there. So it's kind of hard to answer that broadly.
That's stuff he's finding in Vector Validator, right?
Yeah, you will find that in the Vector Validator. So basically, if two shapes are overlapping each other, it will say there's an intersection there. So if you have a shape like that, side by side, and you go to the tool that says Vector Validator, it's this little green check mark here. This will search all of our shapes, and it's telling me there's two intersections there. So as you can see, with this particular setup, to fix this, you can either move them, you can trim them, you can do all sorts of things. You can weld them together, or you could create an offset around them and delete these lines. There's all kinds of things you can do. So it's hard to give a one answer that will solve all those intersections. So it's really a case-by-case basis, unfortunately.
Cabinet Tips and Tricks wants to know, have you ever created any gadgets in Vectric?
I created one before just to play around with it, but not full scale. I haven't really done anything that I published. More of just playing around with it. But with all the AI coding tools out there these days, you can probably create them with AI now that those are available.
Okay. Troy wants to know, can you make a lithophane on VCarve Pro?
Yes, you can. So if anybody doesn't know what a lithophane is, it's basically a 3D carve that you would typically do in a material like corian, or there's also a candlestone material you can carve into. And basically you carve the backside and shine a light through it, and you'll get a really realistic looking image.
Yeah.
And to do that, you just need a 3D model. So if you use EasyCreate to create a 3D model, or some other program to create the 3D model, you just import it into VCarve. You can carve it as a 3D carving, and you can do it all within VCarve or even Aspire.
All right, I got to throw this up. Kim is giving me some grief. So I ate my yogurt and took a lick of it. The final thing she commented, "Don't cut your tongue, Garrett." And then she, more yogurt. Maybe Kim will put this towards the stitches I'll need on my tongue. How's that?
Oh, gosh. Jeez. All right. Derek wants to know, is there a way to download the up-to-date list of machines in Vectric, as my laptop I use for my CNC is not attached to internet or the network?
Yeah, for that, you might have to sign into your Vectric portal on the one that's connected to the internet, and there should be downloads in there. And then you might be able to save it to like a USB drive and then connect it to your one that's offline. If that doesn't work, I would reach out to Vectric. I'm sure they have some type of solution for that because a lot of people use computers that are offline. So you do need that. You could just download the individual post processor that you need because you don't really, there's no really need for all the machine post processors. So you only really need the one that you're using. So I would just download that one.
Okay. All right. Michael's question is a little off topic, but spindle is not turning. It worked yesterday, shut down, turned on today, and nothing. Controller reads R0.00.
I would probably go to your machine maker on that one.
Yep. Or unplug it and plug back in, see if that helps.
Always
check your wires too.
Yeah. Another thing to do is just double check in the brains of the computer. Like I had one of the motors slip off, disconnect inside inside the control box.
Yeah, I had that happen before too.
Yep.
Sometimes something wiggles a little loose.
Yep. Check all your connections. Make sure they're all solid. And as a matter of fact, folks, that's probably a good maintenance thing to do on your machine. Now, the next time you get out there to your machine, just go through everything where all those little plugs go into your box on your circuit board and to the motors and to the spindle and double check because they do loosen up.
Yeah, especially with the vibrations.
Yep.
Okay. Butch, hello. I purchased Kyle's course last week, but I still have questions on stopping and starting layers for, I think we touched base on this one and I duplicated a question. Sorry about that.
Yep.
Okay.
It took me a minute. All right. Mighty Wickard, interested in a super short explanation of the G-code use for setting a repeatable arbitrary 0 point on my spoil board for use on every project.
Yeah, that you can do several ways. I mean, if you want it in your G-code, there's things called like a G54 offset. That's something a lot of controller software will have built in. You could set specific points as your work zeros as a point you can save. It depends on the machine you're using, whether it has that feature built into the controller software. So I would look into that. Another thing you can do, what I like to do on my machine is build a fence where I like to start my projects from. And I always start from that same point where that fence is. But if you can either make multiple fences on your machine if you want to do that, or you can use those offsets built into your controller.
Yeah. I'm going to show you another thing you can do as well, if your controller can do this. So, oops, we popped that off. I think I accidentally. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again, and it comes. This is has to do with creating macros. Okay, so I'm in my G Center control software, and down at the lower lower right, you have several things: your probe, macros, spindle, and such. Go to macros, and I have this one macro already set up. So whenever I want to do a tool change, all I have to do is come over and click this macro, and that will bring my tool to the same place every time. But it uses a G code called G53. If you have a homing sequence on your machine, then you can use the G53 command and type that into this macro, and then whenever you want that arbitrary point set up, you hit that. G53 is like G54, 55, 56, except it is referencing from the machine home, and it does not hold. It's a one time. It's not a modal command. In other words, it's like a lights a push button that'll turn off as soon as you push the button. So every line, basically what would happen if we're set on G54 work offset, G53, if I plug that in, the next line is going to go right back to G54. So I think I got a video on this, but the G53,
yeah, I think you do.
Yeah, okay. The G53, I do have that. G53 and G28 is what I talked about. So
yeah, most controllers will let you make the macros, so that is good.
Yeah. So that's the quick one I can do. Okay.
I say that was just like for
Yeah,
me.
If anybody's confused about that, I won't even worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing. It's a little bit more advanced stuff.
That is more advanced.
All right.
But if you want to, yeah, if you want to do a search for G53 IDC Woodcraft on YouTube, then you should find it.
I'm not sure if Brian's question is related to the question we have previously, but here we go. I was trying to follow your lesson on copy duplicating circles, then the row of circles, and I couldn't get the row to copy. Could you show the keystrokes for that? It was too fast for me.
Yeah, if we're talking about
Too fast. This is he referring to what we just did?
That's what I was curious about.
Probably.
You know what? We're gonna pass this one because we did touch it, and we're trying to kind of get. We have so many questions in the queue, folks, that this is a reason to get in Kyle's course so you can go over it and over it again. But you can always come back to this live after we shut down and go to about whatever time we had that one and rewatch it over and over again.
Yep. I said I just try to keep it quick because we don't have a lot of time here tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Scott wants to know, can you demonstrate how to use the Z adjustment slider in Easy Create? It seems rather random.
Yeah, that's another one we kind of just addressed, but it's not something that I can just simply teach you like this is going to work every time. But basically, the height slider, I can bring it back up if I have it open. Let me find it. For example, this edit height curve that we have here for inside of Easy Create, if I delete that, right now, this is kind of the standard. The point at the bottom is your lowest point. So the lowest point of the model. The point at the top is the highest point. So in this case, it would be the tip of the nose of this lion. That's the highest point. So if I were to drag that highest point down, you could see the height of the nose is coming down. But the background where it's deeper is not changing. If I grab the lowest point and bring that up, you'll see the background's going to come up and the nose is going to stay where it's at. So that's basically the theory behind those points. And then you can add in a point anywhere you want on this line. And wherever you add it, let's say I just click right there, I add one in the middle. This would be kind of the middle height objects. So whatever is in between the nose and the background, whatever's kind of in the middle there, if I raise that up and down, it's going to raise those sections up and down without affecting the total height of the top of the nose or the background. So I can kind of arch this up and down to adjust how that height looks. So that's kind of the theory behind those points. There's also some presets in here. You can drop down and you can play around with some preset ones here, like a gentle, medium, or aggressive height curve. And you can see what those look like as well if you want to play around with those. They also have a little question mark here to help you, but they also have some documentation on this as well in their help documents.
Yeah, folks, Easy Create is something you just have to play with until you get it figured out. It took me a while too.
Yeah.
All right.
Like I said, we cover that in our AI course as well, along with other 3D modeling tools you can use besides Easy Create if you want to try other things out as well.
Folks, you should get into that AI course. This AI stuff is so cool and it's so flexible and you can do so many different things. This is just one tool that he covers in this. There's so many different things you can do with the AI. So, and it's probably good to get on board with that because it can save you a lot of design time as well.
Yeah, now I just want to quickly show, if you don't mind, what our students are making in there. So this is our student gallery where all of our students post their projects that they're working on. And most of these recent ones are made with AI. And I'm just blown away with all these projects they make. So this is my favorite part of teaching people how to use the softwares, because just look at these type of projects they're making. They just blow me away. So I always love seeing when people post them.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And if anybody wants to check this out, it's in our website. We have a student project gallery. You can really get some inspiration on here.
Super sweet. And you do so much. All right.
Yeah,
we
look
put
at
links
this.
in again.
This was made with Easy Crate. It's amazing. It's like so good.
That is so good. All right, folks, 15% off, and that's only till midnight tonight using that discount code that's streaming along the bottom. We got 10 more minutes left. We have 28 questions in the queue. When we haven't started anything in the last half hour to get them in the queue because we knew we wouldn't make it. All right, let's hit another one.
I was gonna say, should I go out of order or how do we want to do it?
Just follow and hit the guys that are in order.
All righty. This yet again may be a repeat, but I'm not sure. Brad says, started to do an inlay on the bottom of a tray that I previously made and promptly broke the tip off a 30-degree V-bit as it collided with the lip of the tray. How do I set up safety zones?
Oh, yes. That's a good one. So safety zones, there's a new feature in Vectric. You can basically draw a box around the area you want to avoid. So let's just say I just drew a random box here. Let's say I have a clamp in this location. I would draw a rectangle around that location. And inside of Vectric, they have this new feature. It's called keep out zones. I don't remember which softwares that's all included with. That's a new feature. So you have to check to see if you have that. I think that's the Pro versions and Aspire, not the desktop versions, if I'm not mistaken. But that one you would select. Then you would select however many shapes that you set where you want to keep out. Basically, this will tell the toolpath, don't go into these locations. And then you just click create from selection. And as you can see, it puts this little box there. And now in the 3D view, it's going to tell it, don't go in here. And if you have a toolpath that intersects with that, it will give you a warning telling you it's going to cut through there. So you have to be careful. So that's something you can do. And you can set up as many of those as you want.
Okay, another factor that might have happened in this is if you're doing an inlay in the bottom of a bowl, you zero out at that surface, you may not have compensated for the bowl height from the bottom to the top of the bowl.
Yeah.
So you'd have to set your safety Z height up higher.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to mention. In your material setup in the toolpath tab, down at the bottom, those numbers again, that's going to be your Z clearance heights here. So the clearance above the material and the Z gap, this is for your home and start position. But these will be the numbers while it's machining.
So that's why we have the checklist.
Yep.
Right? We do the checklist so you can double check yourself over and over and over again. This is free, folks. Setup is everything. It's everything to make your project turn out right. You miss a step, you've lost it. We'll link this in the comments, and it'll also be in the description.
Yep.
Get the checklist.
It does get expensive if you miss one step and you break a bit or crash into your material or ruin your machine. So always good to double check yourself.
Sure. All right. David's wants some inside information. Kyle, when will we see a new version of VCarve?
Well, the Vectric user group meetings in October, the very beginning of October in Nashville this year. And generally they release their big updates right before that event. So I'm going to guess sometime before October, we're going to start to see some teaser videos, and usually they release it by then. So keep an eye out for October for 13, version 13.
I can't wait for Easy Clone to come out.
What's it cloning, ourselves or something else?
Now Becky put out this thing, Easy Clone, and pretended like it cloned her.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was really funny.
Yeah.
I think that was April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
All right. Garrett, this question may be for you to answer really quickly.
Sure.
John says he's having trouble with the stability of the IDC bit catalog. Without warning, it goes into the unset status. Please advise.
That's something that has to go to Richard to figure that out. So
writing it down.
Okay. Let me just I'm going to take a screenshot of his comment there, and that way we can send that to Richard, because I'm not even sure what that means, unless he's got some bits saved or something like that. Okay, we are going to, I'll forward that to the tech guy that takes care of this. So.
Yep, we'll find out for you.
Yep.
All right. Jeff, what is the smallest size of type, I'm guessing font, that can be carved and still being able to read it? Would I use one of the engraving bits?
Yeah, if it's very small, I'd use a very small V-bit. But if it's super small, I like to laser engrave it if you have that as an option. Vectric does have some laser add-on toolpaths you can get. And if you get an attachment for your laser, for your machine, like a JTech laser or something like that, lasers can laser those super fine little details. That's always a good option, but of course that's an added expense. So if you want to stick with V-carving it, I would use a really small V-bit, like a 30 degree or 15 degree V-bit.
Yep.
But
Experiment.
might have more.
Yep. Experiment. I've done letters down to like 1/8 of an inch high.
Also depends on the material. Some materials are not as good as others.
So many different factors. Experiment. Yeah. That's the best thing I can tell
you. Rightly crafted. Any file naming convention tips? I have trouble sometimes associating G code with the original CRV file when making different iterations of the project.
Yes, in our course I share a template for saving projects, because that's something I see a lot of people do. They have files scattered all over their computer and they can't find the project file they're looking for. They got G code all over the place. So what I like to do is save a folder for each project. And in those folders, you can make subfolders for maybe the vectors, the images, or the G code files associated with that. And then I try to name them the same. And also the best thing to do is save your file first with a really good name that describes the project. And then when you save your toolpath, it'll automatically take that name and put it in the toolpath in most cases. It depends on the settings you choose, but they will put the same name in the toolpath, and then I'll put like an underscore profile or underscore fluting toolpath, something like that.
Yeah. Yep. And always create a separate directory. I have one master directory for all my CNC projects, and under there, just like Kyle said,
exactly.
Every specific project has its own folder. And speaking of saving, talk to them about saving our projects, Kyle, since Vectric doesn't autosave.
Yes. Two things I want to point out there is, one, back up your files. I've had a lot of people lose a lot of files. Something happened to their computer. So if you have a cloud backup storage or another drive you can put them on as a backup, that's always a good idea, especially if you have really important files. And then save early and save often. That's what I like to tell people, because you could forget to save. And if you're working with a really complex file, sometimes the software crashes just because you have too much going on, and you will lose everything you did. It could be hours of work. I've seen it happen many times. So what I like to do to make a habit is save your project as soon as you open it. And then just every once in a while, open the design tab there, click that save button. When you make a major change, just click a save. That way you're saving it throughout the process.
All right. Folks, we can only handle about 2 or 3 more questions. So for those that we didn't get to, we do apologize. We could do Kyle for the next week and we'll still have questions. This is why you join this course and join this live thing. Right?
I think I might be have no voice by the end of that.
Yeah. We'll make the last final. We'll hit a couple more questions, but I'm making a last announcement here. 15% off is Master Vectric courses and his AI course. It's up to good for midnight tonight. There's your discount code to use.
Say course link is in the chat and in the description. All right, I gotta say, I absolutely love this next username. Digipetto Workshop. Is there a way to set the bit to carve the design in a linear row instead of letting VCarve generate the toolpath randomly, which is sometimes all over the place?
Yeah, that would be what we talked about earlier, would be selecting the order that you wanted them. There are settings in most of the toolpaths at the bottom to do a selection order in the order that you want.
Yep.
All right. Mark wants to know, what are the minimum computer requirements for using Aspire 12 Plus?
For that, go to Vectric's website, scroll down to the bottom, click the FAQ button. They have all their requirements listed there. That's the minimum requirements. I would recommend just go a little bit beyond that if you can. That way your computer can keep up with it. But generally speaking, they are most computers out there these days. It works pretty well on.
Okay.
Hey, Julianne, how about this one here? So I've seen him ask a couple times.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, we're not doing
I already answered that in the chat.
Yeah, right now we just do it this one way, but we'll talk about that one too.
Yep. All right.
We don't
Jack
want to
wants
do
to,
it in-house.
yeah. Jack wants to know, would you explain clear area selected component outside selected vectors?
Clear area component outside selective area. I'm trying to think which toolpath he's referring to there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe the 3D toolpath. I might have to check on that because I'm not sure which toolpath he's
I
referring
wonder
to.
if that's a warning that comes up.
Clear area, selected component, outside selective. I think he's got a couple things mixed up there. I think he might be referring to selected vectors up here and selected the machining limit boundary he might be referring to. That's what I'm thinking of. But basically, this is just to select where you want to stop your 3D machining if you're carving a 3D object.
Creative Wood Design says 3D modeling.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So,
But yeah, this is basically, they have a model boundary, which will go right to the edge of your 3D model. They have a material boundary, which will go right to the edge of your project size. They have a selected vector if you just draw a vector around the area and you want it to carve to, or select a level. If you have multiple levels, you would only carve the objects on that selected level. That's basically the different options there. I don't know if that's what he's referring to, but I have a feeling that's what he might be referring to.
Okay. They said it's a warning. So tell you what, folks, Kyle will figure out where that's at and then get back to us. We'll put it in the description of the video.
Yep, we can do that.
Okay. All right.
He's good at everything, but I guess the warnings don't come up enough. I've never seen that one before.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. Have you used NextWave Virtual Zero? Is there an alternative in Vectric?
I haven't used it, but I've seen it demonstrated. Basically, it can allow for an uneven surface to make a virtual zero to be able to carve something you design flat into a surface that may not be flat, which is very cool. As far as I know, NextWave is kind of one of the only companies that have that built into their controller.
Yeah.
But as far as an alternative for Vectric, there's nothing built into the software that would do that. However, if you want to design on an uneven surface, you can do that. Basically, you would create a 3D component that has a little bit of a tilt to it. So you would just enter in a zero plane. It's a little bit more complex, but you would enter a zero plane and then give it a tilt, whatever angle you wanted. Or if it wasn't flat, you'd have to make a 3D model that wasn't flat. And then the toolpaths have an option to project onto that 3D surface. That would be the closest thing you can do in Vectric.
Okay. All right.
All right, we'll do one more, and then we're running over time. So,
Mark is asking, is there a way to get mouse over text for the 3D icons? I always forget which is which. The icons look very similar. For example, the base height icon.
Sounds like he's referring to the ones that pop up on the 3D view.
yeah.
So all the icons on the side panels, if you hover over them, they do have a pop-up little tooltip that tells you what it is. But the ones directly inside of the 3D view, they do not. So, for example, these icons here he's talking about. If you hover over it, it doesn't tell you what it is. So it's just based off of the icon itself. But that's something I would recommend you reach out to Vectric and tell them that you want to see that in an update. They're usually pretty good with feedback. They may add that if enough people talk about it.
Okay. All right. Well, someone's asking, where's Mark? He's not here tonight. He's probably on his grill cooking some steak or something.
Mark and Liberty both out.
Yeah. All right. Well, folks, we are out of time, and you can see how fast this can go when we're learning the Vectric stuff and how much is in that noodle and Kyle's noodle there on this Vectric stuff. And you can also see the whole spread of questions that are asked that one person's asking them, or a lot of people have them. So this is my last sales pitch to you, to invest in your head, right, in your knowledge, because it all starts with the software. The CNC is going to do exactly what you put into the design software and tell what that design software what it's going to do. All right, so This is where you start. Invest, and you'll have a community to work with too. So that's why I say invest. You're not spending money, you're investing in your skill, and you're buying speed. You're buying speed and knowledge. So 15% off to the end of tonight. Kyle was very generous. He offered that to us just before we started the show. So just for this evening. So folks, thank Kyle for his generosity. And Kyle, thank you for joining us once again. And Julianne, thank you for taking over for Liberty.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me on again. I always appreciate being on.
Always a good time.
All right, guys. We will see you next week, and we'll probably drag Greg's ass in here. All right. We'll see y'all. Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.